Tuesday night, it's dark. I'm about to head home. I'm kind of feeling pizza tonight. I didn't get it last week. So, okay, bunch of improvements and updates today. One, went to Harbor Freight to buy more drawer liners, picked up another magnet. This one is all cracked up because we never screwed them down and they kept falling off. We'd line them up with sockets and extensions to keep this free for wrenches and sockets and stuff. And then inevitably we would hit them. It would fall over and it broke the magnet up, though it still works fine. Bought another one. They have to be trimmed down by about 1.5 inches, which involves breaking the magnet and then drilling a new hole. And of course I use BMW 8.8 grade bolts, not torque to spec, don't tell anybody. But now they're bolted down, so I could lift up this whole cart by the magnets, and we have twice as many of them. Nice. Moving over here, the drawer liners are done. A little bit more organization and such. What was not done yesterday, these upper ones. So we've got the nice rubberized stuff that apparently easily scuffs. Whatever, pretty much it's just to keep the stuff from sliding around as you open and close the drawers. So all of these now have the liner in them. And I bought a label maker, so we'll be able to print out what's in here and put it on there. Because right now we're just opening 1 million drawers and that's annoying. I bought a new 5-gallon bucket. Nice to drain coolant and stuff into. Nice big catch. It's only $4. The Home Depot ones are like 15. So maybe the handle will break off in 4 days, but for now, it seems fine. The black car is pretty much done. I messaged the owner to see if it's all right if I drive it a little bit. I like to start the clutch bedding and procedure myself. Have not heard back yet, so I'm going to take the Imola car, good old bouncy boy, back home again. But this is done. No exhaust leaks. Everything's put back together. I did replace those 8 missing caliper guide bolt dust caps, and no charge. We just have a bunch of those. I threw them in. They're probably the ones that I took off of my car a few weeks ago when I got the brakes done. Speaking of my car, some updates. No axles yet. Now they're due Thursday. But I did take the old carriers, and as you can see, I've got the ball joints in there. That was not too bad. With the right tool, well, let's just say the right tool is the key. And for me right now, at least, it is this guy. This is sold by ECS Tuning. It's the Auto here from bavauto.com. Product B88000049. And it doesn't look very easy to use, though it is. And it already required some modification. I had to put it on the grinding wheel here to just remove a little bit of that step. It worked perfectly on one, but not the other. I'm not quite sure why. But with that modification now, we should be good to go. This thing flips when you install it. When you press the old ones out, it's just a spacer. When you put them in, you flip this thing around, and it's actually really simple to use. These are 24 millimeter nuts, and I got tired of having to keep taking the wrench off and on, so I'm going to buy a 24 millimeter ratchet wrench on Amazon and bolster our special tools a little bit, or our custom tools rather. But these are in, no damage to the boots, got the circlips on there, cleaned out the bores, nice and easy. I would argue that this might be a little bit easier with the carrier still in the car once the H-arm is swung down, or the swing arm is swung down, because then you don't have to shove them in a vise, and there's no good way to fit them in a vise. I got a little bit of marring there, nothing that's gonna hurt anything. But those are in, those are done, ready to go. Then I chased out every single thread in here, got a bunch of aluminum waste and just debris out of like I think that's for the integral link, and that's where the strut, where the struts bolt in. So all of that's clean. I used a pipe cleaner to go out there and used a whole can of brake clean on these things. So they're clean, chased, tapped, ready to be installed. I'll be putting them in my trunk with the box and hopefully the axles in a few days. Some more work on Dan's car today. We got the cowl, finally got the cowl in there and the wipers, firewall trims installed. Customer stated that the washer fluid reservoir was not working, and anytime he filled it, it just overflowed. That's because the reservoir is full and the pump is not working. Once the key is in the car and the ignition is in position 2, we're getting 8 volts here for the regular washer pump for the windshield. When we pull the thing, we get 11.5 volts, so that seems okay, but why are we getting 8? Anyways, I cannot get that pump to work, so I'm assuming that's a dead pump. But my other 2 donor pumps over here are also dead, which is possible that they're dead. Seems a little unlikely to me. We've got a little more diag to go, but the hose is fine and the tank is fine, and I assume the level sensor is fine because it's not complaining about fluid. Something's going on here. We got to figure that out. Fuses are all good and all that's fine, so not quite sure what, but good progress. We need headlights and we need those swing arms. He's replacing both rear swing arms, and they're coming from Germany, and I imagine still a few weeks out. And then we did find actually some play over here. I don't know if you're able to see that. That middle part is supposed to spin. So we've got a nice amount of play there that should not be there. And additionally, no, this one's fine. See how that middle part at the bottom moves and doesn't make any noise? So I'm going to recommend that we do those for this guy. We'll see what Dan says. Anyways, I'm going to go home and get a pizza. We've got a little less exhaust because that one's back on. King Kong's going to be a little bit because that transmission still has to get rebuilt, hopefully. 10:36, putting today to bed a little early. So here was dinner. I did get my pizza. It was delicious. Came an hour earlier than they said. They tell me 2 hours, it's usually 1. We watched some Ozarks. I ordered a bunch of parts for Tina and her 2014 528i F10. I bought some tools. I bought myself a 24mm ratcheting wrench for the ball joint tool. And I got a 23 because it's a matter of time before we need that, and they only got 9 left. And that's about it. That's the end of Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We get up, rinse, repeat, same shit, different day. Bring in some money, get rid of some cars. Then hopefully en fuego tomorrow night. I will talk to you guys on hump day. Good night.